Welcome to ONNPoint. I'm Andy Martins for another edition. We're on TV, we're live on Facebook, and I hope you're enjoying all the political coverage. I was at the Algoma debate, and it was a spirited debate last night, and one of the five candidates, Amy Sacato from the People's Party, joins me right after these messages.
Here, your education is everything, supporting your true sense of purpose. Here, you'll learn from professors who will understand you, who will challenge you, and offer you support on your journey. Here, you'll study programs built on real values: business, technology, science, arts and social sciences, always geared to make a positive difference. Here, you'll have a chance to assist in faculty research, leaving your mark wherever you go. Here, you'll focus on what matters to you and impact the world around you. Algoma University. Come take a closer look.
Recently, the Government of Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades, including installation, are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
Welcome back to ONNPoint. I'm Andy Martins for another edition. We're live on TV. We're live on Facebook on Tuesday, October the 8th. And I'm thrilled to welcome Amy Sacato from the People's Party. Folks, I've been really lucky in 2019 to meet some really amazing people. This lady is definitely in that category. Welcome to ONNPoint, Amy.
Thank you, Andy.
So let's start out by talking a little bit about your background and why you got into politics.
Yes, well, originally I started fighting the windmill projects in Prince Township. And the reason why I was fighting it, not exactly because it was green energy, but because of the method that they were utilizing to clear cut the property, block the roads. It was upsetting a lot of people in the community. There was run over turtles and there was bats flying around in the air. So it was just a big disgrace. So I am one of those people that is outspoken. So I have no problem getting to the issues and speaking with the people that I need to find to get these issues dealt with. And I had the community come to me when we had elections time and said I should run for council in Prince. So that was originally how I got into politics. I'm not really a politician, I'm just a regular person, but that's kind of what started it. And that was in 2004 with the Windmills project, and then in 2010.
How are the windmills right now? What do they look like? I haven't really paid attention to it. Are they gone or?
Well, it's interesting. So they had a 20-year contract on the lease. So it started in 2004. So we're kind of getting close to that part where they'll either have to be decommissioned or dealt with. Originally, they were given a $400 million grant from the government to start the project, but there was no decommissioning contract in these. So half of them About half are not running, they're not working. So it's too expensive to maintain these windmills.
Wow.
So, yeah, so we call them dead horses. I have friends that live up in Prince Lake, so I go up there often, and you can see there's 16 that you can see from Prince Lake, and when it's a clear lake, you can see 32 because it doubles because of the reflection on the water.
Wow.
Yeah, and half of those ones are not, they don't turn. Yeah, they're done.
It's unbelievable how much money the Liberals wasted on this from 2003 to 2018 kind of thing. It's crazy how much money has gone wasted here.
Well, at the time, it felt like it was important, to bring forward green energy, and to bring forward green energy is important. But some of these projects, when you're talking about the taxpayers' dollars, needs to be looked at more seriously. And some of these projects should be subsidized if it works and it's efficient.
Right.
If it doesn't work, we can look at Europe, for example, and see what's happened there and use that as example. They're about 10 years ahead of us on these kinds of projects. So it's very important when you're spending somebody else's money to make sure that you're doing it properly.
Exactly. And again, don't get me wrong, I'm not against value and alternate energy, but I don't think the government at the time got its bang for its buck with windmills.
No, it was more of a promotional thing instead of getting to the facts and the issues and the true outcome of what it would be like. It was more just, look at us, look what we can do, look at all these windmills, it's great. Right. But it's not really great. They're all made out of fiberglass. It took barrels and millions of barrels of oil to make these windmills. And then at the same time, when they stop working, they will not decompose. They will sit in landfill for hundreds of years. It's horrible.
I've heard also that people have got tinnitus and ear problems and have got sick that live close to the windmills. Have you heard that as well?
Yes.
They've created health hazards.
Yes, I have. So with the Prince Wind Farm, we were the guinea pigs of the wind farm. So this is before the Green Energy Act. Right. So we are not governed, that wind farm is not governed under the Green Energy Act. So it has a little bit of different rules. So it is a lot closer to residential areas than some of the other ones that they've in place. And so it does create danger and fear for the people that live around them. They have caught on fire because the brakes stop working and it catches on fire, And they've had, they kill the birds and the bats and the sound of the whooshing keeps the animals away from, so if you had a regular hunting ground, that area is now deserted by these animals. So it had effects that these studies should have been done before they were put in place. Right. And it's good that they're being done now. Unfortunately, it's too late for Prince Township. But when you get all the correct information and the facts, that it helps for future generations and future areas in these projects.
Let's move on and talk about the Algoma University debate, where I attended last night as well, and the candidates completely misunderstood my question. I asked about getting back to the constituents from an elected representative point, and they immediately said that they can do it personally as well. So how did you find the debate last night? It was quite some anxious moments there, right?
Yes, I found it was really exciting. I like when we all get together like this, and I like when the constituents come out to hear what we have to say. I find that sometimes when some of the candidates up there get asked a question that they're not comfortable with asking, they actually don't answer the question. So it's interesting to see, and you can't fool the audience. They know that you're not answering the question. You're just diverting it. When in fact is a technique that is trained to politicians on how to do.
Exactly. I shouldn't say anxious moments, passionate moments, but you're right, Amy. Party leaders do that, and we saw that at the Ottawa Gatineau debate yesterday too. When you're asked questions, they just simply deflect and move on to another topic. But did you find that you satisfied yourself with answering most of the questions?
I do. I feel like I can be up there and I can speak the truth and I can speak facts and I can answer these questions. It's lucky for me that we're a new party, so there's no historical finger pointing and name calling, which is unfortunate that this happens at a level of adulthood and in something so important as government and politics. So you have to keep emotion out of the agenda and just stick to the facts. I can talk about the People's Party of Canada. I can talk about our platform. I could say what we have to offer. That's the best that I can do. I'm not here to fool anybody, and I'm not here to buy votes.
Exactly, and believe it or not, elected officials become different once they get elected. They may have all the good intentions as individuals beforehand, but I've seen that in almost 30 years in Sault Ste. Marie. Let's talk a little bit about the differences between the People's Party and the Conservative Party in the platform. You might want to outline for all the viewers the few differences between the two parties.
Yes, so you'd think that it's quite similar because Maxime Bernier was conservative and he got 49% of the leader vote, with Andrew Scheer getting 51%. So when he broke off to do his own party, a lot of people thought, well, he's just sour because he didn't get the leadership. But that's not true. When it took him a year and a half after he tried to put his policies into place, and the Conservative Party was just not having his policies. With that and saying, there's some differences. I find the Conservative right now, they're still coming out with their platform, still coming out with our platform. Ours have been out it started a year ago, so we've had a concrete and coherent platform since then. Some of the slight differences, we have one where we will cut overseas spending. In saying that means the social side of things to benefit other countries. Until Canada is strong and has clean water to drink and clean air to breathe, and the people here as Canadian citizens are not living in poverty, until that type of situation happens, then we can act like, okay, let's help with this. If there's a crisis overseas, of course Canada wants to help. Our heart is in the right place, and we will. But to help Asia build roads or Africa build roads, or to help with the subject of abortions, $1.4 billion a year goes to that. A lot of people would not agree with that. And as the federal government, you can't take the taxpayers' dollars and dictate where that money is going to go for these types of social things. It's not a place for the government to stick their fingers in. So with the Conservative government, they believe in cutting 25% of that overseas spending in that same area. We are just going to stop it altogether until we can balance the budget. You're using borrowed money to help these other countries. We don't believe in this globalistic sight of things that like the Liberal government has, and the Conservative government and the NDP. We want to withdraw from the Paris Accord. Another slight difference between the Conservative and ours. We're the only two parties that say we're going to drop the carbon tax. The difference is we're going to drop it immediately, and the Conservatives are going to drop it in 2023. That's what Andrew Scheer announced recently.
Wow. It's kind of like it's almost the same party, but there's a lot of differences. And you and I talked before the show that we're almost 36 million people. We're not really in a position to waste money in sending it overseas, are we?
No, not today. We have a lot of poverty here. People are working paycheck to paycheck. They're taxed on tax on tax, and the people here are tired of it. They feel like it's as bad as the recession. We're so close to recession. We really have to watch our spending. We can't just have open arms and empty pockets all the time.
Right. Exactly. Amy, stay right there. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back after these commercial messages.
This is On TV.
Welcome to the Machine Shop, our historic venue and gathering place for friends and family. Built in 1899 on the site of a Northwest Company trading post. Today we are a go-to venue hosting many expos, concerts, weddings, and more. While you're here, choose one of our dining experiences. Enjoy a quiet dinner at the Mill Steakhouse and Wine Bar, watch a game and try wood fire oven pizza and local draft at the Boiler Room, or treat yourself every day to gelato and local coffee at the Gelato Mill. For more information on the Machine Shop, visit machineshopinc.ca.
Here, your education is everything, supporting your true sense of purpose. Here, you'll learn from professors who will understand you, who will challenge you, and offer you support on your journey. Here, you'll study programs built on real values: business, technology, science, arts and social sciences, always geared to make a positive difference. Here, you'll have a chance to assist in faculty research, leaving your mark wherever you go. Here, you'll focus on what matters to you and impact the world around you. Algoma University. Come take a closer look.
Welcome back to ONNPoint. I'm Andy Martins. We're live on a Tuesday morning on ON-TV and on Facebook, and it's a real thrill talking to Amy Sacato. She's the candidate for the People's Party, and we're having a good old time. Amy runs the Real Sandwich Bistro on 4th Line East. Amy, tell me a little bit about that. How did you get interested in opening that fabulous place? I've had a couple of sandwiches and it's so delicious. How did you get into opening the Sandwich Bistro? How did you get into all that?
Yes, thank you. So I was shopping for a lease for a company that I worked for, and they were looking for a store space. So I just happened to come across this property for sale, and I thought, wow, what a great deal, and a nice busy location in the city.
Right. So
I just applied to purchase it, and I got approved for the purchase. And I thought, okay, now what? Because I'm not a restaurant owner. But you know, the property pretty much pays for itself, and it's
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, folks, I recommend it highly. I don't do that very often, but it's just amazing comfort food when you're stressed out during the workday. Let's talk about debt, because last night's debate, Amy, and as such you were there, a lot of people are thinking in this country that debt is accepted. Government's running debt, and it doesn't matter how high. The People's Party really doesn't feel that way, do they?
No, we definitely want to tighten up those budget strings. We are in such a huge deficit. It seems like we're never going to get out of it. It's going to take 30 years of trying to get out of this on a regular government system to get rid of what the Liberal government has just done in the last 4 years. This is our grandchildren's money right now, and it's sitting on their shoulders. We are using borrowed money to pay for social expenses through the government, and this is unheard of. We need to stop this spending. Right. It's not unlimited.
Exactly. And also what we don't need in this country is what Ontario is seeing, the extreme spending in provincially and now the extreme cutting. That's not healthy for people to see either. But you're right. What does, in terms of the People's Party, they almost have a better physical plan than Andrew Scheer's Conservative Party, do they not?
Well, we do. That's one of our differences. So we claim, and we will do, balance the budget within 2 years. It'll take us 2 years just to, now I don't want people to get worried out there. We're not going to be cutting services, not like you think.
Right.
With the billions of dollars that we will be saving from our overseas spending for these social expenditures. So that's billions. We're going to be cutting corporate welfare, which is picking and choosing winners and losers of companies inside Canada. That's $5 to $10 billion that we'll be saving right there. We're going to change the tax reform, and so it just makes it simpler. Do you know our tax system costs $7 billion a year just to operate it with all the different tax laws and levies? That's $500 a person. Wow. Just to pay for our tax system. It's extremely complex and has gotten that way over the years, and we need to cut back. We need to cut back from government. There's too many at a federal level, too many agencies, too many organizations. They're excessive. It's extremely excessive. We're not in a place as a country to have these types of spending events.
Wow. And, you know, Andrew Scheer is not going to tell people that the People's Party will balance the budget sooner than he will. So it's very interesting that, but your leader knows all about fiscal management, doesn't he, quite frankly?
Yes, he is a financial advisor. That's what he has been. If it's anything to do with dollar amounts, he's your guy. So he's extremely expertise in this area. He's a great person. If somebody can balance a budget, it's going to be him. He knows he can make sense out of the numbers and make sense of where things should go and how to cut it. And it's not an imaginary number. The other parties believe in spending still, spending. They say that in their platform. They're going to spend more and more money. We're not in a situation to keep spending. We borrowed so much money, it's going to crash. It does have a limit. There is a ceiling somewhere.
Well, exactly, and it's bad enough that the consumer debt in Canada is at an all-time high as well. Another difference in the People's Party, Amy, is the immigrants. You really see, and Maxime Bernier sees the immigration a little bit differently than the Andrew Scheer's Conservatives.
Yes, so the answer to immigration is to not open up the floodgates and let everybody in. That kills our society. It breaks our society. We're not saying we're against immigration. We're not at all. We want to increase the number of economic immigrants. That fills the holes in the economy of the skilled trades that we're lacking. That'll build us up and make us stronger and contribute to the society. When you open up the gates and just let anybody and everybody in, it taxes our system. We are not the welfare state. We can't afford to keep doing this. Our hearts are in the right place and we want to help them, but it has to be a logical number that makes sense for our country.
Right, and Maxime Bernier and Jagmeet Singh got into that a little bit. The NDP leader didn't like the answer coming from Mr. Bernier, but the reality is reality with this issue.
Yes, it is definitely an item that needs to be discussed, and I feel like the other parties are just buying votes by saying, we will increase the number, we will increase the number. But if you think about when you take the best of the best out of one community across overseas in a developing country, they need help in that area. They need to build up and strengthen where they are. If we're taking the best of the best out to fill up our own shoes and our holes in Canada, it's a little bit selfish. And we're not helping the world out by doing that. We're selfishly taking these people out of, they're the best people that could build up their economy in their area where they are. So to take 500,000 people and bring them into Canada, it hurts our system and it hurts them too. It's not the solution.
I see what you're saying. The jobs won't be there if you bring people in that quickly. You can't compensate with getting them all work that quickly. There's not that many jobs in for everybody.
And we also have a housing crisis right now. So we're a big country with a small population.
Right.
So in 3 years, the amount of immigration that the other parties want to bring in, that's Nova Scotia's whole population. So before you know it, the network and the weaving of what Canada is today won't be the same 20 years from now.
Exactly, very valid point. You know, the United States has 30 trillion debt, whatever. This is enormous debt that they're leaving their grandchildren, and most people really don't want to do that.
No, not at all. It's important too to say with immigration when they come here to be integrated into society so they don't end up separated and in their own little groups and blocks off. We want them to join with us and be part of Canada and contribute to society and believe in our values and we have here. We believe in freedom and respect and responsibility and fairness, and all these go across the board when you're talking on every subject.
In our remaining minute here, Amy, I need a quick answer. What's your biggest thrill in the campaign so far, being the candidate for the People's Party?
Getting my face out there and having people listen to the People's Party of Canada, it's exciting for me. I get to be honest, tell the facts about our platform. We have the most coherent platform out there. When people hear what I have to say, they're impressed, they're surprised, they didn't know sometimes that we even exist. So it's nice just to get the word out there so people can have an informative vote on October 21st.
Awesome. And I'll tell you, I was impressed. You're very quick on your feet, and having been in politics for a very long time, that's not very easy to do. So thank you, Amy, for being on the show, and we'll have you on again.
And thank you so much for having me.
No problem. You're welcome. We'll be back to wrap up the show right after these messages.
Since 1899, the Machine Shop has been a unique space for innovation and creativity. Once a leading pulp and paper company, the Machine Shop was built by Francis H. Clerg, which later became part of St. Mary's Paper in 1984. After the closure of St. Mary's Paper in 2011, the Machine Shop spent 4 years vacant. In 2015, the Machine Shop reopened their doors to the community for the first time. From weddings to galas to concerts and festivals, the one-of-a-kind venue has something for everyone. We are proud to work with the community and local nonprofits to host major events such as Festival of Trees, Pearls and Plaid, an evening at Hogwarts, and more. While you're here, wind down at the Mill Steakhouse and Wine Bar for a quiet dining experience, or watch a game and try a wood fire oven pizza and local draft at the Boiler Room. Don't forget to save room for house-made gelato and baked goods at the Gelato Mill. For more information on the Machine Shop events, history, and restaurants, visit machineshopinc.ca. 3 great places, 1 historic venue.
Welcome back to ONNPoint, live on ONTV and Facebook. And I wanted to thank Amy for Zaccato for being here. It was one of the great shows. Totally, she's a great candidate, and she'll do well in politics down the road. Reminder that Amy and all the other candidates will be here, right here at ONTV, Thursday, October 10th at 1 p.m. for an all-candidates debate with Luann and Tim. And when ONNPoint continues next week, I'll have Terry Sheehan and Sarah McCleary on with separate segments leading up to Election Day, October 21st. Have a great day. For ONNPoint, I'm Andy Martins. Take care.